Hey guys, appreciate you coming out and covering our players. It's a big day for a lot of young men here, and for a lot of them, they've dreamt of it their whole life, right? As long as they can remember, and now they have an opportunity to go show the NFL scouts what they're capable of. So, I say a prayer for them and hope the rest goes well. But I'll answer any questions I can.
Obviously, Max has been getting a lot of attention for this entire process. I guess, what kind of player do you think he could be in the NFL? What do you feel like his potential could be, and the impact that he can have at the next level?
Yeah, I think Max has all the tools to be a really, really good cornerback in the NFL. He plays inside, he plays outside. He's a great special teams player, and he loves football. And he's a good person. So when you take all that into account, and then you know that he's got an older brother who's already playing in the league as an NFL team, I'm sure that makes him feel very comfortable with Max. I have no idea how he ran today. If he ran today, he ran well at the combine, and he'll do some drills and stuff today. But for Max, this is probably not as important as it is for a lot of the other guys here today.
Max, you mentioned his great combine performance. He's had a good few months. He's shooting up the draft, mock drafts and all that stuff. Do you see him as a first, second round kind of guy that can have that potential?
You know, it's always hard to predict where a guy's going to go in the draft. And I always found it funny, like that in NFL organizations, we would put a round grade on him. How do you know? Right? It only takes one of the 32 teams to think that this guy is a worthy pick at that slot. I think what is more important as you look at him is what is he going to do on our team if you're in that league? What's he going to be for us? And I try to look at all our guys and harken back to the days when I coached in that league and say, what would he have been for us? And I think Max would have been a really good player for us. So I think he's going to go high in the draft. Yeah, I don't know where that is. That's a crapshoot.
I guess Johnny Langan obviously had a couple injuries down the stretch there. He's recovering from them. But he strikes me as a guy that could have a future in the NFL because of his versatility and his ability to do a bunch of different things. Like, what, from your perspective, can you see Johnny doing in the NFL?
Well, Pat, I think he can do a lot of things. I think he's a very viable tight end, off-the-line guy, move guy. I think he's an excellent special teams player. It's really unfortunate that the injury has kept him. He had the surgery and he's recovering, but he's not quite ready to go do this stuff yet. We actually moved the pro day back as far as we could in an attempt to maybe he would be healthy by now. But everybody's journey takes different turns and times and all that, and maybe it won't be a direct right now deal with Johnny. Who knows? But I know he loves football, and I know that he'll be persistent with it, and he's going to help somebody's team.
During your time coaching Max, where do you feel he's made the biggest strides?
Well, I think he learned the game within the game. He understands the game of football really well now. I think that physically he just continued. He was a very talented guy when we brought him here as a young guy, and he just continued to develop. He's very fast. He's very explosive. So, I think he's made improvement really in every area of his game, and I think he's grown up. He came here a little college freshman, and he's leaving here a grown man who, was a real trustworthy member of our squad.
You've coached a lot of current and former NFL players. What's some of the advice you gave to the players today?
Well, don't make this out to be too much. Don't make it out to be more than it is. It's one data point for these teams. But for some of these guys, they didn't go to the combine. They didn't have the opportunity to be seen in a lot of different things. So it's bigger for some than it is for others. But the reality is all you can do is the best you can do. If you've prepared, if you paid the price, go out and let it fly. And the chips are going to fall where they're going to fall anyway, so why fret about it?
Coach, on the offensive side of the ball, you've had a history of some great receivers, underrated, coming out of here and making moves in the NFL, all the way back to Kenny Britt, most recently Bo Melton. What do you see with the two here today in Jaquay and Isaiah?
Yeah, they're both good players. They really are, and I think they have an opportunity to really climb as they show what they can do. Isaiah really played his best football in the last year of his career, and Quay came to us, and unfortunately he got injured but the plan was for him to be a very big part of what we're doing. So I think he's going to be a guy that can play in this league. He's just going to have to get more repetitions, but both of them are real good players.
I'll finish with Chris and Ryan.
Coach, Max Melton, obviously, as others have mentioned, has moved up draft boards, and it feels like at the defensive back position, Rutgers under your tenure has had a lot of defensive backs going to have a lot of success in the NFL. Why do you feel like that pipeline is, and where do you think Max fits into that?
Well, I can't really tell you why it is, other than that's where I grew up coaching. I coached the secondary my whole life, so I probably put more emphasis on it than other positions. I don't know. We've been blessed to have a lot of really fine players come at that position to Rutgers. But there is a tradition of defensive backs playing in the league, and I am really convinced that Max is going to be the next really fine one.
That was my question. So you got one short.
Good. I like that. All right, fellas. Thanks again for covering this. I know it's kind of a little different season, but it's all good stuff, and these are great kids. So thank you.